Hi, it's Brad here with another Shopbot video. Brad from Maker Nexus. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about origins. We're going to talk about XYZ origins on the 3-axis CNC machine, our Shopbot here. Nearly all modern CNC machines use the Cartesian coordinate system and have some way of finding what they call machine home, which is basically a baseline where the machine knows where it is. More on that in a minute. It's usually found using limit switches. In our case, the X and Y axis both have limit switches, and the origin is found by closing the switches. The actual XY0 is slightly away from that, so we can actually move a little bit into negative space. That's not important. What is important is that using the C3 command in the software allows you to repeatedly and reliably find XY0 over and over all day long. If you have a power failure during the middle of your job or something else you lost your XY reference, you can reset it and start over where you pick up where you left off. Okay, so the way we do this is we go to the cuts menu and we select home axes using X and Y proximity switches. The shortcut's known as C3. Basically, the machine moves till it closes the switch, backs off, moves in slowly, finds the switch a second time, and then spaces in X or Y as appropriate to find the actual zero. Once this happens, you'll get a little pop-up on the screen that says axes are zeroed in X and Y. Basically, congratulations, we found it. Z does not have a limit switch. Z0 is set by you manually or perhaps programmatically. We're going to do it manually. The easy way to use the Shopbot, the frictionless way, is to use vCarve with our Auto Z0 post-processor. What happens there is at the beginning of your cut file, it moves the tool over the Z plate, touches down, and sets Z to be the surface of the material. Sorry, the surface of the bed, the bottom of your material. Same place, like I said. You can also do this manually if you're using Fusion 360, or if you just want to do things the hard way, you can manually Z0 the tool. What you do is you move the tool over here, and the location is X minus 2, Y 11. I can easily go there by bringing up the keypad and going to minus 2, 11. Tool will move over there. And then I call another function, which is C2, which uses a macro to lower the tool down, touch the plate twice to make sure that we have it correct. Okay, I'm going to run that function. That's a C2. Again, this is the easy way. We're going to talk about slightly harder ways in a moment. What happens after I do C2 is it asks me if I'm over the plate. This makes sure that you're in the right place as opposed to somewhere out in the middle, where moving the tool down won't find a metal plate to touch and unpredictable results occur. After it touches down the second time, it moves up 2 inches to clear your material, we hope, and then gives you a little pop-up that says, zeroed, remember to clear your work area, set your spindle speed, etc. Good luck. Okay, so that's how we do that the easy way. Or if you're using Fusion again, and you have set your material, bottom of your material, the surface of the table, same place, to be your Z0. Let's say I'm the kind of guy who wants to do things the hard way, because I can be. There's 2 things that we can change that makes it slightly harder, but not impossible. The first is you don't have to use XY0 as your origin. You can have it pretty much anywhere out there, but what you need to do is you need to move the tool to that location and then reset X and Y0. I'm going to do that. I've actually pre-positioned a board at, I believe it's X25 and Y15. Let's find out. I'm going to move to X equals 15, Y is 25. We're going to find out. 15 and 25. Let's see if my memory is good. So I actually pre-positioned that. It could be put anywhere, and if you move it anywhere, what you want to do is when you get to the place you're going to reset 0, is write down the coordinates on here just in case a power failure or something happens and you need to recreate this position for whatever reason. So what I'm going to do now that I have my tool located where I want it to be, I'm going to close the keypad and I'm going to go to the zero menu, and I'm going to zero X and Y, and suddenly I've reset X and Y 0 to be at that location out there. Easy peasy. So if my part was, 3 or 4 inches by 3 or 4 inches, it would work great out there. Let's say I'm also the kind of guy that has set up my file that I want the Z0 to be at the top of the material for whatever reason. Maybe I need a precision channel that's exactly 3 millimeters deep or something like that. So the way to deal with that is we move our cutting tool out over the material. Okay, a little bit, and I move it down close using the page down key. And when I get close, on the keypad there's a button called Fixed, which we'll zoom in on in a minute. It's called Fixed, and when I click on Fixed, it gives me a small box that has a way I can put a number in. Right now it's set to 0.05. So now every time I press page down, I go down 5/100ths of an inch. I'm going to move down 5/100ths of an inch until I'm close. I'm going to change that to 1/100th of an inch, 0.01. And I'm going to move down until my paper just drags. So the tool is now resting lightly on the paper, and so I know I have a paper thickness away from the top. Because I'm working in wood and I don't want to be so precise, I am going to assume that my paper thickness is not going to make that much difference. So I'm going to close my tool, and I'm going to go back to my zero menu, and I'm going to zero Z axis. There's a shortcut, of course, called ZZ, surprisingly enough. Now I have zeroed my X and Y to this corner right here, and my Z0 is on the surface of my material. Okay, so I could run my job if I'd set it so that my corner is there and my Z0 was on the surface of my material. There's a couple other ways that you can find the surface. You can use a piece of paper. You can use something of a known thickness. Let's say you have a piece of 6 millimeter acrylic or maybe a 1/2 inch drill bit. In that case, what you would do is you would find the tool just brushing your piece of acrylic or your drill bit, and once you get to that point, you would go to the red window, which is the digital readout, double click in the numbers, and you can type in the Z location, or the X or Y, a new value. So right now it's set for 0, but let's say that I was using a 1/2 inch drill. So now I can set it to 0.5, so now it tells it that I'm exactly 1/2 inch above the surface of my material. Lots of things to cover here. Hope it all made sense. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the window. So we take a look at the keypad. What we've got is we've got the normal up and down, okay? But I can go to the Fixed button, and I can change this number right in here to be 0.05. That's not 0.05, that's 0.05. And now each time I hit the up or down, I'm going to go exactly 0.05 inches. Cool. All right. And again, the other menu items we looked at is under the cuts. We have home X, Y axes using the proximity switches, which you can't see. So we'll change the angle. There we go. Home X, Y axes using proximity switches. Also C2, the 0X, the Z plate. And while we're here, under the Z menu, we have 0X, 0Y, 0Z, X and Y. X, Y, and Z. If I was really insane, I could zero them all and mess up all the work I just did. All right. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the shop.